Our newsroom scanners have been going off nonstop this week with reports of stranded vehicles, wrecks, even fires. So I wanted to bring in those who are responding to these emergencies. I'm dubbing them as the trifecta of first responders in the Rocket City. So Huntsville Police Chiefs Kirk Giles, Huntsville Fire Chief Howard McFarland, and HIMSI's Chief Operations Officer Don Webster. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, Chief Giles, I did want to start with you because we are hearing about a lot of wrecks that are on the road right now. What would you say is the cause of majority of these? Do you think it's driving too fast in these conditions, just the icy roads, or just a mix of both?
It's a mixture of all of that, not to mention the fact that depending on the individual driver and their experience, there's just lack of experience in driving this type of weather. And so then you couple that with the fact that everybody's been cooped up for the last 34 days or want to get out. They see some, they read on social media that this is open, that's open, and it's just tempting for them to get out and test their skills. And needless to say, it's not working out real well.
Well, I do have to say, I think we've been putting that message out to stay off the roads. I think they're doing pretty well taking heed to that advice. Would you say so too?
I wouldn't. Well, I would to an extent, but just to kind of put it in perspective, if you would look, we pulled out statistics from January 15th through the 18th, and we had 162 weather-related traffic accidents, of which 20 or more involved injuries. Now, to put that in perspective, last year we worked over 8,300 reps, which is averages about 160 a week. So if you took that to sit at 162 reps in 3 days versus a week's average, I would say we've got some more work to do. We really need people to stay at home, only get out if it's emergency or absolutely necessary, and to understand that the roads are treacherous and they'll continue to be treacherous even after the weather tonight.
I'm glad you brought up that incident because, Don, I do want to get over to you because you all are actually responding to some of these wrecks. Talk about how it is traveling and trying to traverse through that difficult terrain.
Well, it is very difficult, with the ambulances, as far as we have them cabled, but there's still a lot of terrain, not only in the city of Huntsville and Madison, but out in the rural parts of Madison County. And it does cause a delay in our response. We're fortunate that we have the volunteer county fire departments in the rural area. Huntsville Fire are responding to a lot of the high acuity medical calls, and as well as Madison Fire. So the first responders are usually responding quicker than we are because it takes longer to get the ambulances coming out.
It really does. That's why it's so important, folks, to make sure you stay off the road. If you do have to get on there, please make sure you drive safely. But Don, if you can give me some numbers, do you happen to have any statistics on how many of these things you have responded to?
Well, yesterday we responded to in excess of over 250 calls here in Huntsville, Madison County, and transported, I think it was about like 180 patients. And those numbers were a lot, those aren't the numbers after midnight. So our call volume has gone up today. We've already been in excess of numerous falls, people out walking, and we've actually had several severe injuries from people falling on the ice, several motor vehicle accidents, plus just a lot of medical calls.
And Chief McFarland, I don't want to leave you out of the equation either. If you could talk to me about these fires that you've been responding to. This morning I walked in and there were several calls that were going off. How would you say how many of these are related to the weather?
It's going to be really hard to say on the fires. We've had, since we started tracking the first of the week, we've had 10 structure fires. And I really can't say from what we've had on them that they've really been related to the weather. Of course, when we have the fires, it takes us a little more time to get there. We're having to travel slow. We're actually running snow chains on all of our trucks. People are getting around without that, but in our situation, we don't get to pick and choose which hill we don't go up. We have to go up there if a house is on fire, so we have to run slower on the dry pavement, but we have to have those to get around. So it's a little more burden on us trying to get there.
I understand. Well, this is your opportunity right now. I want you to look straight into that camera and tell our viewers what you want them to know about what is going on. What do you need them to know right now?
Well, I think the big thing, I just echo the same thing that we've already said. is only get out if it's necessary. If you have to go to get necessary items, get out. As far as just getting out and looking or just going, please stay in. All of us have limited resources. Our resources are stretched. The fact that we're having to travel slower ourselves, it just doubles the amount of resources you would need that we don't have. So when we're sitting looking at call log backed up for wrecks, for all kind of issues or medical calls, we're all working the same stuff. We just need all the help from the citizens we can get. There's only so many resources that we all have, and we're trying to make them go as far as we can and to get the priority calls. But we just need some help from the public to just please stay off the roads if you don't have to be on the roads.
All right, you heard it here. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking time out of your day to speak with me, and thank you for all you're doing to make sure that we stay safe.
Thank you for covering us.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.